Ordinary citizens in North America and Europe are awakening at last. To their horror, they are discovering that they no longer live in the democratic society of their imaginations. Recent events have exposed the existence of a permanent government class, a so-called deep state, that is indifferent to the desires and wishes of citizens. These events have demonstrated that the members of this permanent government class are doing everything in their considerable power to thwart the results of democratic elections, which is nothing less than a silent coup d'etat.
It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
What truth?
That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch.
Once, only far-right extremists spoke of a hidden deep state, run by the Trilateral Commission or the Vatican or even the Jews. It was an insane idea voiced only by extremists like Lyndon LaRouche, the John Birch Society, and people who think AIDS was a CIA plot. But now virtually everyone of all political persuasions can see evidence that a deep state of some sort actually does exist. It's now so self-evident that even liberals are worried. The first inkling for ordinary citizens that the deep state is real was the revelation by Edward Snowden that Western governments are actively spying on their own citizens to an almost obsessive degree, despite public promises and often explicit laws that forbid it.
What I wanted to see is if you could give me a yes or no answer to the question, does the NSA collect any type of data at all on millions or hundreds of millions of Americans?
No, sir.
It does not.
Not wittingly. There are cases where they could inadvertently, perhaps, collect, but not wittingly.
Even when elected officials passed laws instructing the surveillance apparatus of the deep state to cease its illegal activities, the bureaucrats in the NSA, CIA, and British intelligence in effect refused to obey, and they continue their 1984-like spying to this day. But with the election of Donald Trump, the existence and intentions of the deep state have been laid bare for all to see. The appointment of a special prosecutor to investigate alleged ties between the Trump campaign and Russia was the first glimpse into deep state activities. Then came the revelations of political partisanship at the highest levels of the FBI and the Department of Justice. We now know that the wife of a top FBI official actually worked at the opposition research firm that hired an ex-British spy to create a dossier on Trump, the same dossier, apparently, that served as the justification for wiretap warrants and the creation of a special counsel investigation in the first place. And we also know that the number 2 man at the FBI, Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, actually spoke of a quote-unquote insurance policy in the unlikely and catastrophic event that the voters defied the wishes of the deep state and actually elected Trump. And this insurance policy is what we are now witnessing daily on TV. And the revelations of the overwhelming bias of FBI agents investigating both Hillary Clinton's erased emails and Donald Trump proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that the American government has been corrupted from within, and that this permanent government class is a cancer on American democratic ideals that must be utterly eradicated. Here is how Republican Congressman Trey Gowdy, himself a former federal prosecutor, exposed just how wide and deep the corruption of the deep state really is.
When I go home to South Carolina this weekend, trust me when I tell you, no one is going to ask me about any of those issues. They're going to ask me, what in the hell is going on with the Department of Justice and the FBI?
So we live in dangerous times. The political class, made up of both Republicans and Democrats, despises democracy. They don't give a damn what voters think or say. As professional politicians, they think they know best. They believe in ever-expanding government, open borders, military adventurism, and higher taxes. They think constant electronic surveillance of everyone on the planet is simply the price we must pay for living in the modern world.
Last weekend, President Donald Trump interrupted an interview with CBS News to say that the problem of spying on American citizens is the #1 issue in the country today, and we need to, quote, find whatever the hell is happening, close quote, out before things get worse. The spying apparatus, the NSA, has its own secret court that it can go to, and that court issues warrants for spying upon 99% of the times that the NSA requests them. But beyond that, the NSA has the ability to go behind the back of the court, and it does do that, and it listens to every conversation. It doesn't have the time to listen to it. It captures every conversation and every keystroke and every piece of data that goes over fiber optic cables in the United States, and has been doing so since 2005.
The only thing that will save America is to expose the leaders of the deep state for what they are, criminals. They must be exposed and prosecuted. If they are not, America will gradually descend into a police state in which democracy and civil liberties are but a distant memory. Thanks for watching. You can find me on all the usual social media sites. And if you've enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing by clicking on the big red subscribe button below this video. Thanks very much.